All right, guys. So we have an interesting article today.
Do we?
We do actually. So the list of Xbox One backward compatibility games is now available.
Oh yes, that's right.
So
Yeah, I did mention that.
yeah. So I have a question for you, Luis, in particular.
Me.
Well, all of us. Actually.
I see how it is.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm single Lewis out.
I am having attention now, okay?
Okay, that's all good. This is my time to shine.
That's right. His 15 minutes. Less than-
Go. Ask your question.
So, how important for you, Luis, is backwards compatibility?
Oh. I mean,
Question.
I'm mostly a PC gamer, so when it comes to like all games that I want to play again,
That's super relevant though as a
Yeah.
question then.
I think that I was always able to get around the games that I really wanted to play, like around HD remakes and good old games, basically releasing games from using the DOS box.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, eh? Is good old games is pretty much
Good old games is pretty much the one place to go if you want to play something that is basically obsolete at this point.
But
Yeah.
but don't you think that's like the big difference between, let's say, PC and console? Because once you buy your console, you're stuck with whatever the console is, unless you have updates. But you're stuck with that process the console offers, whereas PC is so simple. You download a program and you play what you need to play.
The one thing that I would like to say about it is that I do have a PS4 and I do have a Wii U, but I didn't buy those consoles to play all games.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing. That's a good point. But I see where you're coming with the question of backwards compatibility. Just because now Xbox One made their games backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Okay. I owned two Xbox 360s.
Okay.
I currently own an Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a PlayStation guy though, so all my money goes in PlayStation. But the thing is I know that there are a couple of good games. I know there are a couple of good games that I know released on Xbox 360. And I think they're in this list, but they have a pretty decent list,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be more that are gonna be added. Like the list is pretty extensive.
It'll just increase as it goes along, right?
There's 104 titles, starting on the 12th. So the 12th's already passed, but yeah. So basically, I should go update my Xbox.
Yeah. Well, basically, when there's like something that I would really, really like to play, and it's gonna be something that is like pretty much mainstream. So eventually, it's gonna come out as a remake. Like for example, I think they're making a remake of Gears of War, right?
Yeah.
That's a game that I never played because I never owned an Xbox and I want to play it, even though it's been on PC too.
They're remaking it for
Yeah.
for Xbox One.
They're making it.
Yeah.
Making it.
So then there's no real point for you to be able to play it on the
Right.
backwards
You
compatibility.
could, but they're making an HD. It's the same thing as let's say God of War, or the Uncharted collection, which I'm also going to buy now.
But are you gonna bank every time on a hope that they're gonna make an HD remake of the game that you already own? Like is that really feasible for a person?
It's a risk.
Shaking the table.
It's a risk. I mean, I don't own the consoles, and most of the time I have to be like, well, that sucks. I won't play it.
Yeah, well, I had a launch PS3
Okay.
So the big block.
Oh, that's the one with the backwards. I have that one
With
too.
backwards
the 80,
compatible,
the 80
60
gigs.
gig.
Oh, I have the 80 gigs one that they
Yeah,
offered.
it's possible. Anyway, yellow lighted, and I ended up so it's dead. But the concept there was good. The main problem of why Sony can't do this
Right.
is because their architecture is not the same.
Okay, so explain how that works.
Well, Microsoft and the Xbox use.
You could say basically Windows.
Yeah, they use the same basis for making their games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a game on your PC, because that's where development happens, it happens on computers.
Mm-hmm.
You develop your game for PC, test it on PC, works great. Plug in an Xbox 360 controller into your computer, and it works. It'll work on an Xbox. Okay, you hardly have to change anything. Okay, there's some things for Xbox Live that needs to be fixed and stuff like that, and then it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that is why backwards compatibility is a possibility for this console, because they never changed. These guys never changed. Microsoft never really changed the basis of their architecture. Whereas Sony, okay, and this was a big problem with the PS3. And the reason that the PS3 was so expensive when it released was because it had backwards compatibility, meaning it had two separate chipsets. It had the chipset,
Well,
had the chipset to deal with all the PS2 and PS1 games.
Yeah.
Because those two consoles were on the same chipset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It had the same architecture for the games. And it had the PS3 ARM, or was that it? The ARM? I can't remember, but it was really bad.
Well, that also because it had a built-in Blu-ray player too. That was the big.
Well, the Blu-ray player wasn't the thing though, right? It's
No.
the architecture of the system itself, the processing power and the graphics processing. So those things are what determine what environment you're working in when you're developing, right? So ActiveX, ActiveX for PC and Xbox stuff. It's all the same environment essentially, and it's a visual environment. And then for the PS3, developers were all like, "This thing is such a pain to develop for." I remember for the first couple of years, the PS3 didn't have very much coming out because companies were having a lot of trouble porting games onto it, which is why Xbox had so much popularity up until about 2009, 2010. And then PlayStation went zoom, like that. Well, yeah, they was using the same architecture, same system, except they figured out how to work around their problems and stuff like that. So once the industry caught up to the technology, then they were able to continue. Right now, the PlayStation 4 uses a completely different. It uses something much closer to the architecture of a PC.
So basically, it's much more user-friendly for the developers to use, and this is why currently PlayStation.
You can make a game on your PC, go export for PS4,
Yeah.
plug it in the PS4, and it'll work.
But this is a good reason why the content in PS4 has been out. I'm not going to say it's
PS4 has surpassed
it's
Xbox
surpassed it,
in
but-
every single aspect this generation.
Except backwards compatibility.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if the backwards compatibility is a feature that's big enough for them to pass. That's the thing, right? E3
Yes.
is when they announced this, right?
Yes.
So when they announced the backwards compatibility, the Xbox fanboys were like, "Argh." But I mean, I don't really know. Like, I have both an Xbox One and I have a PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've invested in both. I have games on both. But for me, the only exciting announcement that they made was for the HoloLens. They showed more HoloLens. Backwards compatibility, as far as I'm concerned, is not a feature that's
Well, the closest thing that comes
A
is
game
PlayStation
winner.
now for PlayStation, and I've tried it on wireless and.
It's
Wi-Fi,
terrible.
And it's terrible.
And the entire concept of PlayStation Now is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. Why?
Because you're paying
For a game you already theoretically paid for.
Unless, well, yeah, you can play other
If you have a collection like mine,
Yeah, you have a large collection, but let's say for me, I don't own any of the Assassin's Creeds. I've played them, I've rented them in the past, but like I would love to revisit, some
yeah,
of the
just
ones
be able
I
to get the
haven't.
PS3 disc and stick it in your PS4 kind of thing.
Kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, we don't really know that it's impossible to do. Okay, the PlayStation Now is a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a little different. It's kind of like, I guess, like Apple TV or like,
Netflix.
yeah, it's like a Netflix for
Netflix
games.
for
Games, yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to solve or challenge really this whole backwards compatibility thing.
I guess we'll see, but look, I'm looking at the table here of all the games that.
There's a lot of games.
There's Doom 2. You're pretty much getting your fix of old games too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What up? Hexik, Just Cause 2. You have the Lego games, Metal Slugs.
Yeah, you're happy about that, eh?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I love Metal Slug. You have Sonics. You have all the Sonics.
You do know that there's a skin in Heroes of the Storm that makes Sergeant Hammer look like the tank from Metal Slug, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I own Sergeant Hammer also, but I got the skin for her, where the orc skin.
That's pretty chill.
Oh.
I
Pretty
love
good.
that skin. It's so
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty cool.
But yeah, so I mean, honestly, I think it's a great decision they've made on their part to.
Well,
to
for
add-
the investors in the Xbox One, definitely,
For
I
sure.
think so. Yeah.
for sure, gives it way more.
I honestly
replayability.
don't see myself
Torchlight.
getting an Xbox for any of these things. Like,
Get your
Oh.
Diablo fix on it.
Yeah, Torchlight. That's true, eh? Shit, that's true. I didn't even know they released that on console.
Me neither. I thought it was just on PC. Okay,
Torchlight's a good game.
it is a good game.
I never got into it.
No,
No.
It's like Diablo Light.
It's a very cartoony Diablo.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into it. I
Well,
guess.
it's because everybody was waiting for Diablo. But what happened to Torchlight was unfortunate. They were like, Torchlight! It's like Diablo, but more cartoony. And then Blizzard went, Diablo 3. And everybody went, fuck Torchlight, holy shit!
well, look, they came out with the second one, so they did something right.
Yeah.
They got a player base.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have a player base because they have a lot of stuff on the workshop. It's like the mod community for the game is crazy.
Yeah, but the mod community for any decent game, any half decent game is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on PC, right?
Yeah.
It's just the, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I think it's cool.
PC
What do you guys?
Master
What?
Race.
Let us know what you guys think. What was that?
PC Master Race.
Dirty console.
Dirty
presents.
console presents.
I really have to see this video.
You do have to.
I keep seeing you guys do this every week.
You need to watch it. You'll watch it after we're done filming. Okay. Let us know what you guys think about the backwards compatibility list. If it's a game changer for you, or if you think that it would make a decision easier if you haven't already made it between the PS4 and the Xbox One.
For sure.
Down below, where he said what he said.
That's what she said.
Just do it. Do it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you guys to definitely check out our Facebook at Too Much Sugar Films. Also, if you can also see our Twitter at TMS_films, that'd be really awesome. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our other videos that we have on our channel. They are super fun. And if you want to see them, they're right around here. So just click somewhere on this area.